All right, Larry Krueger here from the Pig and a Pickle Krug Show with a little 49er video. Who are the 12 best players in Super Bowl 58? We'll talk about it next. But first, we're brought to you by Pig and a Pickle, the best barbecue in Northern California. Check them out in Emeryville and Corte Madera. They're open 7 days a week from 11 a.m. till 8 p.m. or until they run out. Pig and a Pickle. Go say hi to Damon and Mary. Tell them that Larry Krueger sent you. And we're also brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. Check the link in the description. Use the promo code Krug, and they will match you up to your first $100. All right, let's talk about the 12 best players in Super Bowl 58. And just to run it down, we'll go from 12 to 1 as far as who are the best players in this game. All right, number 12 on the list, I'm going to go with Lamarcus Sneed. Sneed is a fantastic corner for the Chiefs. He's a guy who can play safety or corner. He was their 4th round draft choice in the 2020 draft. Loved Sneed in college. Really a good player in college, and a guy who can play safety in college, but is playing corner in the NFL. He went to Louisiana Tech. He's long. He's strong. He's got great man-to-man coverage skills. He can shut off a number 1 receiver, and I would imagine he'll draw Ayuk quite a bit in this game. And Sneed is a big-bodied, long-armed guy. He's a 6-foot corner who plays like 6'3" because he's so long. So he's number 12. He's, in my opinion, he's the 12th best player in the game, and that tells you how many great players are in this game. All right, who's number 11 on the list? I'm going to go with Isaiah Pacheco. Isaiah Pacheco is 5'10", 215 pounds. Runs in the 4.3s. How this guy ever went in the 7th round of the draft is a total mystery to me. He runs incredibly hard. I mean, he played at Rutgers. Obviously, he got overlooked. Give Brett Veach and the Chiefs an amazing tip of the cap because they found this kid in the 7th round, and he was awesome last year. He's been really, really good this year. He's a dominating player. So Isaiah Pacheco, number 11 on the list. Number 10, I'm going to go with Brock Purdy. Brock Purdy is, an MVP candidate. He's playing at a really high level. He can run. He can throw. He's accurate. He's the 49ers leader on offense, and he'll check in at number 10. Purdy is I think, due for a big game in the Super Bowl. He's taking care of the football. He's running when he needs to run. He's resourceful. He checks in at number 10. Number 9 on the list is Nick Bolton, the inside linebacker, another guy passed over in the draft. Why? Because instead of being 6'2", 6'3", 6'4", he's 6 feet. He's 6 feet, about 240 pounds, but he runs like the wind, played at Missouri, 2nd round pick in the 2021 draft by Brett Veach, and just a tremendous player. This guy can run and hit. He diagnoses correctly. He's got great instincts, and he gets to the place where he needs to be awfully fast and in with an angry disposition. So Nick Bolton checks in at number 9. Number 8, Fred Warner. Fred Warner is the best coverage linebacker in the game. He runs, he hits, he sets the tone. He can cover linebackers one-on-one. He's good against the run. Fred Warner checks in at number 8. Number 7 on the list is Travis Kelce. Kelce, the Taylor Swift's boyfriend, is now approaching his mid-30s, but he has been great in these playoffs. He's a red zone threat. They flex him out. He can make catches up and down the field. He's not the blocker that Kittle is, but he is every bit the receiver. Kelce checks in at number 7. Number 6 is George Kittle, the people's tight end. Kittle is in front of Kelce because Kittle blocks. He's a dominating blocker with 4.5 speed. So George Kittle could be a dominant receiver, but they have other weapons. But he's a dominant inline blocker, and he just pinned Aiden Hutchinson last week, who's a 270-pound defensive end, and he just pinned him on his back just because of leverage. Kittle's a dominating blocker. So I'm going to go with Kittle, number 6. Number 5, I'm going with Brandon Ayuk, all-pro wide receiver. Ayuk's catch radius is massive. Throw it up, throw it down, in, out. You get it in the vicinity, and he is going to catch the football. He's that good. He'll catch it in a crowd. He'll run with confidence over the middle. He plucks the ball with his hands. He can be a kick returner or a punt returner. He's a dangerous player, and you saw that incredible. When the Niners needed a big play, who was there to make it? Brandon Ayuk. So he checks in at number 5. All right, we're down to the top 4, and this really tells you how great these teams are, because all these guys are Hall of Famers in my estimation. Number 4 is Christian McCaffrey. Could be the MVP of the league. The best running back in football this year. He can catch it out of the backfield. You can get him isolated on a linebacker. You can throw it to him in the flat. He's good on run plays. He's strong, running with force. He'll break tackles. He's got great feet. He's got explosive home run ability. So you're talking about a guy who's good in short yardage. And if he can get to the second level, he can make one guy miss and take it to the house and make those big 70, 80-yard runs. McCaffrey, when healthy, is super dangerous. And off of a week off in the prime of his career, I expect him to be a major player for Super Bowl MVP. McCaffrey, I think, is going to have a big day. The Niners are going to run the ball a ton at Kansas City. I think they need to play complementary football and keep Mahomes on the sidelines as much as possible. And Christian McCaffrey is a special player. And as I said, you can catch it, he can run it, you can flex him out wide. He'll carry out play fakes with as much seriousness as he does every one of his carries or receptions. He's just a pro's pro and one of the best in all of football. He checks in at number 4. Number 3 on the list is Trent Williams, Hall of Fame left tackle, one of the greatest left tackles in the history of the game. 6'5", 6'6", 325, 330 pounds, great feet, unbelievable pass blocker, dominant run blocker. He, in a lot of ways, is the prototype. He's one of the greatest tackles that's ever played the game. There's no question. He's a dominator. He has 2 lockers, and nobody begrudges him because he's that good of a player. And he's just a dominant player. He's as good a left tackle as maybe anybody. I mean, Walter Jones, I think, might have been better, but so what? I mean, this guy, Trent Williams, is absolutely the standard for how offensive tackle play is played in the NFL. He's on the short list between Walter Jones and Anthony Munoz and maybe a couple others as far as the greatest offensive tackle that ever played. So, I mean, Trent is number 3 on my list. Number 2 is Chris Jones. Chris Jones, 6'6", 310. He's a free agent this year. He is a monster. He plays so hard that he demands that everybody plays to his level. He's just a badass. I mean, he'll bat down passes. He'll knife through. You try to block him with one man, he destroys you. You can line him up at defensive end. You can line him up at defensive tackle. He's going to be in Canton. He's one of the greatest players of his era. Against the Niners, he looks like a combination of Aaron Donald, Mean Joe Green, and Reggie White. I mean, he is just so incredibly dominant, one of the greatest players I've ever seen. Controlling him is going to be absolutely vitally important if the Niners want to win this game. And number 1 on the list is the great Patrick Mahomes. Mahomes is a crazy winner with amazing talent. And you're just talking about a guy who, just was 30 of 39 against Baltimore in the AFC Championship game, 4,100 yards, youngest quarterback ever to play in like 4 Super Bowls. He's already got 2 rings. And, 27 touchdowns, 14 picks do not tell the story. He's an incredible winner. He's only 28. He's 6'2". He's 225. He'll run for first downs. He's got a rocket for an arm. He's an undeniable competitor. He's the best player in this game. And I don't think anybody would argue that. No, even you could be the hardest of hardcore Niner fan. You would not argue with Patrick Mahomes being the best player in the game. So there you have it. The top 12 players. Niners have 6. Trent Williams, Christian McCaffrey, Brandon Ayuk, George Kittle, Fred Warner, and Brock Purdy. But guess what? The Chiefs have 6, including the top 2. Mahomes, Chris Jones, Travis Kelce, Nick Bolton, Isaiah Pacheco, and Lamarcus Sneed. Those are the 12 best players in Super Bowl 58. Thanks to Pig and a Pickle for being the title sponsor of the Krug Show. Thanks to Underdog Fantasy for sponsoring this video. Thanks to all you guys for supporting the Krug Show on YouTube.